Waiting for visitation.
In
fact, Moscow is a great place.
Wow. I enjoy the place.
In fact, I'm happy for you, sir.
Oh, it should be. So now we are on retirement.
Oh, dear.
We see the young ones. We just look at it and look at them and tell ourselves. In Ghana, we say, "Never fear." We pass there.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So you came back from that experience, and then you went back to lecturing.
Yeah, I came back after my national service.
Right.
So then I went to IPS to lecture marketing.
Right.
I lectured for a while.
Over 20 years.
I started lecturing in IPS in 1987.
Right.
1987. Then somewhere in 1990, I left again for another master's program. This time, the British Council Scholarship. I went to University of Strathclyde in Glasgow for another master's in international marketing. Another beautiful university, but I enjoy Moscow more than.
We believe you, sir.
I enjoy Moscow more than Glasgow. Moscow was fine.
Very fine.
Very fine.
Very fine. Very fine. Very fine. Okay. let's talk about UPSC and all the reforms. It's not what it used to be at all. You know, and I should know because I have a lot of programs there. You know, the auditoriums are different, the campus is different, even the name is different. And you are personally credited for all of the great improvements, you know, that happened or is happening in the UPS. Let's talk about that for a minute. What did you see? How did you, you know, how difficult was that?
First, I must say,
right.
I shouldn't be personally credited. It was a teamwork.
Right.
It was a teamwork, me and my staff. But there was understanding, there was good cohesion, and there was discipline, right? Like, you know, as a former student of the school and a lecturer as well, I became head of department, dean, I became the deputy head. So when I got to the top, I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Right.
I knew exactly. You know, a man must be ready for his time when it comes. Some people jump into positions when they're not ready for it. But just for the love and pride of the position, you jump into that. If you find yourself in this, if you don't take care, you might not do well. But when you jump in the position, when you are ready for it, you see that you just take off immediately. So I knew exactly what to do when I got there. I had my vision. I discussed my vision with my staff. There was collective ownership of the vision. And once they buy into the vision, you saw more than 30-40% of the program. Because now it is ours. Right. So let's move it. So we were able to do that together to the extent that those days UTAC will be on strike, but my lecturers will still hire to teach.
Wow.
Yeah. The team will be on strike, my workers will still hire to clean the places and work.
Wow.
Because there was a direction. And nobody forced them, but they saw that we needed. You know, it was a deprived institution. Money was not coming in from government. But we were working there. And we also needed public respect. But sometimes the environment alone will not make people even respect you. You know, let's say somebody goes to town and he's in his three-piece, nicely dressed. You might think in the morning he ate the best meal, but maybe he ate some small cassava and pepper, but he's nicely dressed. So you give him that respect. So environment is very important in whatever you do.
Presentation, branding.
Yeah. So we needed to look at that alongside the academic programs. You know. So the vision was clear. We owned the vision collectively. Of course, there was some degree of resistance. But again, as a leader, you should not see resistance as an enemy or somebody fighting you, you know. Because when you are moving people from a point to another point, Resistance will come in because of the fear of the unknown. You know, you are comfortable here. He wants to move you to a different situation, and you don't know how it's going to look like. So there might be some small resistance, but that one you have to manage that resistance. So you don't see resistance as an enemy. It's simply energy driven in a different direction. The man is full of energy. He believes, so he's moving it this way. But you think you should go this way. Your ability to communicate the vision and get a person to buy into the vision, and then you move that energy from that left wing to the right wing.
Right.
It's what makes you a leader.
Right.
You know,
channeling energies
Yeah.
positively. Wow. Okay. There's something I want to talk about, something. I'll come there, but just before we move to that, I find it very interesting that you've been Greater Accra Regional Minister, and you've been a regional minister all the way in the north also.
Yeah.
It's not a common, thing to happen. I was scratching my head a little bit about that side. I mean, how does one comfortably, and you came back to the Greater Accra region from the northern region, but how were you doing that? Greater Accra Regional Minister, Northern Regional Minister, come back here,
Very interesting. I won my seat as a member of parliament. I went to parliament.
Right. Cool.
So I decided to turn my normal academic hours at the end of the IPS into part-time. So I'll leave my house in the morning, drive straight to IPS 7 o'clock in the morning, teach the part-time. By 9, finish, then drive to parliament. Before 10, I'm in the parliament house to do the normal. So it was a part-time that I turned the hours.
You were lecturing part-time?
Yeah, I was lecturing. I became MP, and I couldn't leave the students that way. So I turned, with the school's endorsement, I turned the normal hours into part-time. So they will pay me something small.
Right.
Money is very important.
It's important.
Yeah. So there was this day when I got to parliament, and a gentleman called me, and it's Fisbafo, it's Honorable Fisbafo here, that he's been sent by the president to tell me that I'll be nominated with the Greater Accra Regional Minister.
And this is Rollins we are talking about?
Rollins, yes. Right. I didn't know why he decided to choose me. And I had no connection in the party for anybody to lobby for. And that is why I wanted additional income. That's why I was teaching. So I was comfortable with that. I told Fisbafo, do you mean full minister? He said yes. So I told, okay, Fizz, then tell the old man, if he really sent you, to make me a deputy minister so that I'll learn from somebody. I'm a young boy teacher. What do I know as a minister? He looked at me and shook his head. Then he told me, people are fighting for this thing.
I was just about to say.
You have got it on a silver platter.
I was about to say. You see, they are making you see what I want.
You don't know. Ma'am, I was not ready for it. You follow? Mm-hmm. Then he said, okay. He went and came in 2 weeks. He said the man has refused, and that I should tune my mind to it, and that he's not going to change it. I shouldn't tell anybody. It's supposed to come also as a surprise. Hey, this man wants to spoil my professional life. So one day, I went to Parliament, and the Speaker of Parliament, just called me to his office, chamber there.
of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Welcome back from the break. We are in conversation with the Prof. Joshua Alabi, man of many parts, lecturer, professor, head of UPSA, at a time where UPSA is said to have been one of Africa's fastest growing universities. It's under his tenureship that UPSA achieved, that recognition. And this is not me saying, it's all the citations here, saying. There's one I'm saying here from All Africa Students Union, which says that UPSA is Africa's fastest growing university of 2014. We could talk about his time as MP, we could talk about his time as regional minister, not just in Accra, but also in the northern region. We could talk about his time as board chairman for Smith. It goes on and on and on and on. But just before we left for the break, you were introducing us into your work as regional minister. So
yes.
We are in Parliament.
Yeah.
You've been, approached by
Justice Annan.
Right.
Yes, and
right.
So he told me the president has brought you in 3 times. And the first time I rejected because I'm supposed to nominate who should be Greater Accra Regional Minister.
Right.
And you are not the one. The second time the president brought he sent it back. And today he has brought your name again. I don't know what he's seen in you, but I'll be announcing it today on the floor of the House. That if you don't do well as a minister, we shall sack you. Then I looked at the speaker's face. And I said, but can I say something? He said yes. I said, I'm the speaker. But every job you don't do well, they sack you. So what? They said, hey, I hear you don't respect. Very nice gentleman, the speaker at that time. I hear you don't respect. I said, oh no. Every job you don't do well, they sack you. So we went to the chamber. They announced about 11 names or so that day. And normally when they announce, you hear something like that.
Right.
But when the speaker mentioned my name, the 2 sides, everybody got up with the other people, waving. And you could see happiness. And I sat quietly. The speaker looked at what I was with and shook his head. So after the whole, I was told by some friends that my vetting was very simple. In truth, my vetting was very simple from both sides.
Why?
About just 40 minutes.
Why was the president insisting, one, and why was everybody happy?
The president, I don't know.
He still does know?
No, I don't know. And people being happy, I was very lively in Parliament at that time. That was the time of tension. When in 92, the MPP refused to come to Parliament. So I went in 96. We won in 97. So that was our first time in Parliament. And there was tension. Now we see the current president, J. Mensah, Battels, we also had a very strong team. And there was tension. So I used to crack jokes on 2 sides. So they grew to like me for that. Right? So it was like, it's a very simple person. We were all very happy. I had a very simple meeting. And then I became the Greater Accra Regional Minister. Now, along the line, President Ron sent for me and I went. And he was in the room with some tri-students playing with toys.
Wait, what?
Playing some toys.
President Rollins.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Was playing with toys.
Yeah. When I went there, I was playing with toys. And he said, yes, I want to do some experiment. I want to reshuffle the regional ministers. So where would you like to be? He asked me. I said, His Excellency, if you want to reshuffle, Then me, I want to go to the north. Ah, I thought as much. That's what he said. I thought as much. So he did a reshuffle. I went to the north. Within some.
Why?
Why the north?
Why?
Like I told you from the beginning, my father was in the north. I attended Tamale Secondary School. Almost all my childhood friends in Tamale. And it was like I was going back home. A gunman going back home to the north. So I was comfortable there. But later I realized that he didn't consult the other regional ministers because there was hell. My colleagues were not happy, complaining. Then when I realized that he consulted me alone, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody. So I took part in
making noise.
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody.
You're also very unhappy.
Yeah, I was happy. I was happy.
No, but you joined in the, the unhappiness.
Hey, but you don't have to show. Politics is all of that. Politics is all of that. One thing I like in politics, if people get to know that the leader likes you, you don't take care, you don't survive. You don't take care, you survive.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. People have that problem of people who perform and maybe the leader admires the performance. Right. So you need to balance yourself when you're in this game. You need to balance yourself. So I kept quiet. We're all not happy. We're all not happy. You like laughing?
So you're making me laugh. You're all not happy. But then you happily went to the north.
I went there. My father was there, so my brothers were there, my friends were there.
Right.
It was lovely. After a year, then he brought all of us back to our various places. Came back to Accra.
What was the essence of that exercise? Well,
he didn't tell us, but I believe he wanted to experiment, see whether if you are not from a place, whether you perform better. You know? And I think for me it worked. For me it worked because I was free to work. I was in charge. Accra, almost every minister was here, including himself. You know? So I was not in charge in Accra, regional minister.
Right.
But non-regional minister was in charge. Yes, and I could do what I wanted to do. I could be very creative to do what I wanted to do. And I really enjoyed the work there. Yeah. So that's why I went to the north.
I mean, how did family fit in? Because, I mean, this sounds like a very busy life. You're lecturing part-time, you're in parliament, you're a minister. So how did family life fit in here? You know, and let's not forget the Moscow experience, you know, amazing time.
You love the Moscow experience?
I love the Moscow experience. Love it. So how did the missus fit in, and how did you know? My
missus?
Yes,
how did she fit in?
Fit in.
Interestingly, we all come from Nungwa.
Nungwa?
Yes. We all come from Nungwa. We're all Gans. From the same family. Same family.
From the same family?
Yeah, family, but I mean, I will show you. I have a family tree here. That white in the middle. It's our family tree. Our family tree. And you see from the top where we all had a great grandfather, the same person. So he came. So we're almost like fourth cousins as well.
See.
It's done. Fourth cousins.
I still hear cousins. I still hear cousins.
Fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So it's fine enough.
Yeah, it's normal. Yes, the parents will have accepted it.
Of course. But why hair? Why hair?
Why hair?
Why hair?
When I met her, she had that nice shape. And then I put into her way of life and character.
Right.
And I realized that we share common interest. And there was some inner beauty too that
Right.
So the first point was there. Normally, for a man, what attracts a man to move to a lady might be this thing. But even when you get that one, then you probe into the inner beauty. Right. Before you decide. So when that attracted me, then I went into the inner beauty. And for me, it was good.
It was very good.
So we could move.
I want to give you a standing ovation. You are speaking the truth. You see, this is the truth.
But we have to speak the truth.
We have to speak the truth.
Professors will profess the truth.
Absolutely.
So nobody should think I'm a bad man. we profess the truth. You see, I'm not a
because
diplomat.
that is the truth.
I'm not a diplomat
at all.
And we are not talking politics.
No.
Professors will profess the truth.
Absolutely.
So I saw this thing that I probed into the inner beauty and I got it right.
And she was, and I mean, being here in your home and you telling me that she is responsible for, instantly I can tell the kind of woman that she is. I mean, of course, I know her.
Organize all this. I have no hand in this.
I know her, author, writing amazing book, lecturer herself, a woman of metal in her own, But then I can also see the beauty. Yeah. I see this library that I'm sitting in. Yeah. I see the candles. I see the flowers. Yes. And it tells me that
if you see this table the way it is,
right?
If she positioned the table here like this,
right,
and you moved it when she comes, she'll go like.
Yeah. My kind of woman.
And sometimes.
My kind of woman.
If there's any conflict, sometimes it comes
from the table. I can relate, sir. As strange as that might sound.
I'm not that type, the son of a farmer, and the daughter of a civil engineer. Oh. The father used to eat fufu fork and knife.
Oh dear.
The father.
Oh.
The father used to eat fufu.
Right.
So I was totally different.
Whoa.
So you see the difference.
Wow.
You have to know.
Wow. Wow.
So,
wow. So, I need to ask you this question. Yeah. How is it like working with your wife in the same place? Because both of you were in the UPSA. How is that like?
My wife suffered a lot. She suffered a lot in UPSA because I was doing reforms.
Oh,
and,
right.
And some of the operating procedures were too tight, right? And I was focused and very serious.
Right.
And to some extent, I also had to instill some discipline.
Right.
So those who wanted to fight me or to insult me, they turned it on to me.
Right.
This is the woman who is telling the man to do all that.
Right.
So the blame was always on them.
Right.
But she was also very focused. She was also very focused. And never bothered. But she got a lot of jabs.
Right.
Those who wanted to jab me.
Oh.
She got it.
That's not.
That's not. Okay. She helped a lot.
Right.
She helped a lot. You go to UPSA now. A lot of the standard operating procedures, she initiated them. She worked on them.
Right. But how about the soft side? I'm staying here because I also work with my husband.
Oh, good. It's good. It's good.
And it comes with its own very peculiar.
You have to be very disciplined as a man when you work with your wife. You have to be very disciplined as a man when you work with your wife. Sometimes you want to bind nature, but you have to be very diplomatic and manage. You
mean the clouds and the trees?
Beauty, God's creation. You might be very
creative in the way you admire nature.
I'm not telling you to go and start observing the man. No, it's my personal secret.
You have to be creative in the way that you admire nature.
Yes.
Right.
It's so easy.
I can imagine.
You have to be very stiff. You have not seen. I'll make you laugh. I like laughing myself. It makes you relax.
Oh dear. Prof, we'll take another break. Okay. We'll take a quick commercial break, stay with us, we'll be right back.
the occasion. With ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm having a great time. I hope you're enjoying this show too. So I hope you're having a fun time too.
I'm enjoying it. I like the way you laugh.
So you're making me laugh.
Yeah, I'm enjoying you too.
I mean, are you always like this? Are you always?
Yeah, I've been like this throughout my life.
Wow.
Yeah, you only see me to wear a very serious face when I'm in public life.
Right.
Yeah, but once I get to my house or within my space,
Right.
my friends will tell you, I can make you laugh 24 hours. Love that. But when I'm in my public life sometimes, so people don't know that the aspect
The
of
other
my life.
side of you. Thank you for allowing us.
Yeah.
Enjoy this
enjoy
side.
it. Make
Enjoy
it
this
simple
side
and
of you.
lovely.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, I have to ask these few questions before I come to the questions that really excite me. Let's talk now about research allowances. It's been raging for a bit now. And you actually served on the committee for research at the UPSC.
That was a long time ago.
A very long time ago. Very. But it means that you perhaps would be one of those voices that we need to be listening to on some of these issues.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this issue about research allowance?
It's very important, very important. You know, the work of a lecturer is not limited to teaching students, right? You must be able to do something that adds to knowledge. Your contribution to knowledge or existing knowledge, you know, and you do that to research, And of course, you cannot fund your research, and with the type of salaries that we are given, you cannot fund it. It's expensive when maybe you have to conduct some surveys and all those things. You cannot fund it. So some time ago, the government agreed that, okay, then we'll be giving you some research allowance to do your research. Aside that, promotion in the university is not like you go to an organization and then after 2 years you are promoted based on performance and you move automatic. No. Promotion in the university is based on your research. You see, the academic journals that you've written and other, what do you call it, related matters too. All right. So, if the work of a lecturer is to contribute to knowledge, and that is through research, then he must be supported to do that. Yeah, and that's where the research allowance comes in. Yeah. Also, I fully support the lecturers when they fight for research allowance. Maybe what we have to do as a country to benefit more from the research of the lecturers is to have a national development agenda where research will be focused towards a direction. Right? There's a debate there, but that's what I believe in. So that when you want to conduct a research, then it must be something related to the national development agenda. So that it can be used.
So it's useful, not just some random research. Wow, I like that. So let's dive straight to sports. And it's become very topical as well. And this is also your forte. You know, I was excited to hear that you'd want for everybody you know to become a coach. and you yourself offered your services some time ago. You offered to be the coach for the Black Stars. Yes. Should we be?
I've been a sportsman before.
Right.
But I was a basketballer in school. When I was in Tamale School, I was a very good basketballer. But along the line, I moved into football. But football, not as a footballer, but as an administrator of football. So at a point, I was the director of administration of Accra Great Olympics Football Club, somewhere in the 90s. Then I became the general secretary of the Ghana League Club Association, somewhere in 1994, there, right? Then I remember when I was the general secretary, the Black Stars went to Tunisia in 1994, and the performance was very bad. So I led GACA to ask for a total reforms in the management of Ghana football as the general secretary. Right. And at that time, the government appointed all the 5 members of the management board of GFA at that time. So our point was that since we were playing football, then the government should appoint 3 and we appoint 2. And the government was not prepared, led by E.T. Mensah as the sports minister. So we fought. And then when we realized that they were still very adamant, then we said then we're no more going to play the league because we play football. It was at that time that government accepted and we met. So GACA had to present 2 and government 3. So we went for GACA elections again, and I was voted for to be one of the 2 with Alhaji Jawula. So I became a member of the GFA. We were 5. On the GFA, I was responsible for the senior national team, the Black Stars. So I took the Black Stars throughout the qualifying series in 1996 African Cup of Nations, where we landed in Johannesburg. Right. We went to the semi-finals with Bafana, and we lost. I took the national team round. Okay. So I have been a football administrator, and I know football. Right. And when the coach comes out with a wrong, when the foot comes with a wrong tactical formula, I can see it. When the game is moving and there's need for a change to change the game, I can see it too, right? So I jokingly kept on my Facebook when Kusia Priya was removed. It was a joke. Nobody goes by as a football manager. I just joked. But I want to marry the Black Stars. And Ghanaians are not humorous. People sometimes insulting me for that. Ghanaians are not humorous. They see everything in a very serious thing. What is man? They insulted me very well, no? They insulted me. And I read some of the insults and I laughed. I said, oh, these my people. Must they always be tense? Oh dear. Tension all over. When you open the radio stations in the morning, there can be 100 radio stations. Not bad. You know, somewhere in 2010 somewhere. Around 2000 somewhere. Yeah, I forgot the day. Around 2010 somewhere. Budare interviewed me. Right. And he asked me a question. If I'm giving Ghana for 1 day to lead, right? It was a very hypothetical question. Right. To lead, what would I do? Bulare. I guess he was expecting some wild answers.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean.
Then I told him, Willa, I will march everybody to the Independence Square to go and laugh. His face changed. I was watching him when I gave that. He said, why to go? I said, yes, to go and laugh. He asked me why. I said, look, let's relax. What sort of life is this? Every day blows in this country. Why? And the leaders are not even helping it. They even add salt to it. Oh, minute.
So you match all of us the Independence
to go and laugh.
To go and laugh.
You just go and laugh 1 day. And you see how refreshed you'll be. And you go to work, you see productivity. Just go and laugh.
What do you have to say to our parliamentarians? You know, our boxing parliamentarians.
Hey, in fact, I should have been in parliament, but maybe I'm now old. Because now, to be a parliamentarian, you should have...
I think you have what it takes, though. I'm looking at your...
I have a gym down. I will take you there. A boxing gym. Yeah, I told some of our MPs to come for training. Because it's not going to be a requirement.
They need it.
Yeah, I told them to come. I'll train them. Because it's not going to be a requirement.
They really need it.
But you see, on a more serious note, you see, I think that some the MPs, especially from my side, they go into that out of frustration. You know, you look at the standing orders of Parliament, you look at the Constitution of Ghana. I've been in Parliament before. Whoever chairs the Parliament for the day, that's not vote. It is something unheard of. And you cannot say you are taking, you will take the decision and go to court. You go and get 7-0 there. You know? The judges are just waiting. You go 7-0, 7-0, 7-0. So they feel that some people want to overthrow the Constitution in Parliament. Right. And if somebody wants to overthrow the Constitution, you can use any means to fight it. And that's what they did. That's what they did. Because they won't wait for the thing to go through and go to court and 7-0.
Right.
About winning 7-0. So that's what is happening in Parliament. We should all come down and understand ourselves. Ghana is for all of us. No one man can think that he loves Ghana more than any of us. We all love our country. We all want to see our country progress, right? So if you are in leadership and you want to force things through, sometimes you have to sit and relax more. You have to sit and relax. The country is for all of us. We all love this country. We want to move the country forward. That's why we're in this business of leadership. And let's let's understand each other. Look, Geronis, who was from the military, brought VAT. There was demonstration. He withdrew it. Went back and reorganized himself. Right? He withdrew it. The soldier man withdrew it. And the civilians, we have fought hard to say we want democracy. This is how we want to handle it. To push things through. To the extent that now they want to go and use the court to prevent others from going to Parliament to have your way. But it's a if they succeed in that, I call that a failure. You know, where one tries to use his position to suppress somebody, it's failure. The Russians call it позор. Позор means disgrace. The Russian word позор, disgrace. It's failure.
You would have failed.
You might think you have succeeded. You go and make you talk, but you know in you that you failed. You failed to move your power. You use the cane, you use the whip, you use the military, you use the police.
That's not democracy, is it? Right.
That's not democracy.
Right. NDC flag bearership, sir.
Okay, you ask the question. Bring it.
That's the question.
That's it. You see,
that's it. That's the question.
What about the flag bearer? I attempted and the people said no.
That's in the past. I'm talking future.
Future?
Yes, sir.
You see, we are in our second term in opposition. And I believe that there must be some degree of unity to fight. I don't think we have the financial muscle to fight this spending government. What I think we have is the people and unity. Any attempt to destroy this will be a problem. I've gone around the country and it's clear from the grassroots who they want. It's clear. You know, it's clear from the grassroots who they want to lead NDC come 2024. It's clear. And I think that what the people say is what we have to accept. You might like to go through election, but I'm telling you that will be formal. Because the people have already spoken. I've gone around the whole country. So we allow that to go. You see, leadership, if you lead and God says you lead, when the time comes you lead. If God says it's not for you, don't force it. And it's not a matter of I've been ordained to lead at all costs. Right? But I believe I've been ordained to help systems to grow in whatever position. So when you give me this role, I assure you get the results. I assure you. Those who know me know that when you tell Alabi, this is what I want to do, you get the result. So it's not about being the overall head. If the people say they want you to be overall head, you will see it, you go for it. If the people say no, do it rapid by force.
Where do you find the commitment, the grace to continue to serve, after that experience? Because we are in Ghana. People have gone
after losing their flag barrage.
They've lost the elections. And suddenly they've left the party. But you are still very active in there. You know, this whole time that we've been here, you talk about. And there's a projector downstairs that you use for. I was watching everything. So you are very actively working for the NDC now. Very actively. Where do you get that grace to still want to see your party win after an experience like that?
You see, I'm always proud of my associations.
Right.
So, for example, I attended Tamale Science School, and I tell you, I'm very proud of the school. Very, very proud of the school, right? You dare not tell me that it's an inferior institute. because I see Tamale Senior School as the best secondary school in this country. A school that has produced a president, a school that has produced 2 vice presidents, you see, and a lot of ministers. Tamale Senior School. Aside that, I'm a Moscow trained, Soviet Union trained, and I'm proud of that. Very, very proud of that. Now, we come to sports. My club is Accra Great Olympics. No matter what, relegation or whatever it is, I am Great Olympics.
Right.
And whatever I can do within my power to help, I will help. If I can't do, I support. You know, so that is me. I have decided to join the NDC. So it is part of me to see that NDC is positioned properly in the role that maybe I'm assigned to do or what I can do. All right. So that is me. There's a common saying in Olympics that awo woyoli. You don't understand that?
Yes.
Awo woyoli.
Woyoli.
Yes. You beat NDC, you don't beat NDC, you am NDC.
Right.
And so far as I'm active, I should also do my part to position my party to win. Right? And that is it. That is what. And my satisfaction will be to see the NDC in government in 2025. I'm very, very satisfied. Very happy.
What's your philosophy? What is it that keeps you going? What is it that keeps you going and going and going? Most people get fixated on one thing. You've done everything. You've succeeded at everything that you've touched. Literally, you have the Midday touch. You've turned it to gold. Literally. What is your personal philosophy? What is it that keeps you going? What is it that keeps you winning?
You know, when I get opportunity to work and, for example, let's say there are positions now. Chairman, secretary, vice chairman, whatever, right? I see the most difficult one to be general secretary. So I can't do that. No, I can't do it. Very, very difficult job. I want to be chairman, to lead. I see it to be very easy. But maybe because of who I am.
Your personality.
Yes, you know, secretary, right, chief, no. It's difficult for me. Like somebody told me the other day, one day you'll be a pastor. I say, hey, it's a difficult job. It's a job. No, the Bible says when you admire somebody, you see. And a pastor, I mean, I don't know. A pastor, no. So I can't do that. I can't do that. So we all have what God has given us. So for example, my party wins and they say there's a committee. If you make me the secretary of that committee, I'll turn it down. If you make the chairman of that committee, I'll take it.
Right.
You know? Because I know what I can do to add value to what is expected of me. So, and once I'm in the chair, I don't sleep. In the evenings, nights, before I sleep, I imagine what the committee or the team should be doing and what I think we can do to move the committee forward. So the next day when we meet at meeting, I present, we discuss it, we toss it up and down, we surprise orientation, we are moving.
Right.
So I think a lot. Quietly, I think a lot. Right? So at this stage now, then the secretary will be writing plenty. That's difficult. Very, very difficult. People don't know. It's a difficult job.
You're a leader.
Yeah,
you're a born leader. That's your personality.
Yeah, that's my personality.
That's your personality.
My wife has some consultancy she's been doing for people,
right,
which has to do with personality tests. So when you fill the forms and everything, you know exactly who you are. Right. Don't cross-cap it. Right. If you cross-cap it, you fail. Right. You fail. I can't be a treasurer, not because I will go and chop the money, but I can't keep money. I don't know. I don't want to keep money. You understand? So that one thing is difficult. You see? So every position has its own, what do you call it? That's the type of people. Yeah. I don't want to be a treasurer. It's difficult. Right.
Your children?
Eh?
Your children?
I have 2 beautiful children.
Aww.
One was 20, 2nd January this year. The second one, 20.
Wow.
And then the first one will be 23 come May. So she's 22. Wow. So 22, 20.
Yeah. 2 lovely daughters.
No. Daughter, And
you have both. You have a male,
both,
and a female.
I have the pictures here.
I will be checking all of those out.
Politics?
Are they into politics? Are they into academia? What do they do? What's their interest?
No, the 20-year-old boy is in his final year at the law school at Buckingham.
Buckingham, University of Buckingham.
He's in his final year at the law school there. God willing, he will graduate and then move on. The 22-year-old girl also completed the law school at Portsmouth University, and she's at the University of Law reading the Masters and the Professional Law.
LPC. So 2 lawyers.
As to whether they would like to be lawyers, I don't know, but we agree that the law will open it up for future development, so they can move into finance or whatever. That's not easy, but it's just an opening to life.
Amazing. What type of father are you? Are you strict? Are you laissez-faire? What type of
I'm very strict.
You're strict father.
My children, they tell me that this place is prison. The house is prison when they come, because I go by the rules.
A very beautiful prison.
It's a prison. You know, my son, when he was 15, he wanted to drive in a car. Then I stopped him. I said, not until you are 18 and you have a driving license. You will never do that. And I meant it. And they know me very well, so he didn't dare. Then he told me, East Legon here, you have a friend around the same age, he's driving. I said, okay, but not me. One day, they came, they were very quiet, sad, and they said, Daddy, our friend, he had an accident and he's dead. Kept quiet. And I told them, the boy didn't kill himself, it was the father. Am I a bad father? No? Okay, quiet. It was a sad moment, so I didn't want to annoy them. But they saw that I was really protecting them. At 18, then he told me 18, so I took him to a driving school at East Legon. He completed, they gave him learner's driving license, so he would drive with the L, but there's time period. After that time period, I stopped him. I said, until we get the full license, we don't take any car. We have to track this thing. The day he got his license, come and see the smile. Then I told him, now you can move. But I sat in the car and we went to town and I saw that he was good. And I loved it.
So you're very hands-on. You're strict but very hands-on.
Oh yeah. You see, you should do the right thing. I'm not the type who allow you just to do the wrong thing because no. Systems must be followed. The law says 18 driving license. Why do I allow you to drive when you are 15, 16? No, it will happen.
What do you do for fun?
For fun?
Yes, for fun.
You know, anytime I offend my wife, the only way I solve it is make her laugh. Crack jokes. She will pretend not to laugh. The way as I finish. You see, you're laughing. You make her laugh.
Oh, dear, I wish I'd met her. I really
maybe when we get down, maybe she should be around.
Yes, I really have to.
She's also very straight, disciplinarian, very straight. So
she sounds like a lovely lady.
Very lovely, very sweet.
Music. What? Can you dance first of all?
I used to dance, but I don't know if this stomach, whether the stomach is now big.
What songs do you enjoy?
Amachi.
Old school.
Yes, I'm an old man.
Old school.
Amachi Dede.
How about the young ones?
Oh, that Anyamanyamati, I don't know them. I like Amachi Dede.
What would you like to eat?
To eat?
Yes.
Need less than ever eat. You see, I used to notice it.
Yes, I noticed it.
And guinea fowl.
Yes.
With bra, you know bra?
No.
They know next to that one.
Which one? Bra.
Some stew be for the TZ. when you pour it on the TZ, spread and very hot. Put your hand and you bring back. You put your hand and bring back. That one is fine. It's fine.
So what do you like? Is it the food you like or the fun?
It's the package.
Is it the food you like or the fact that it's hot and your hand has
the
to
package. The package.
So you love to eat TZ?
Yeah, TZ, yes.
That's in the north. How about when you come down south? Because we are one of two.
Well, my normal
places.
KK and fish, fish.
Come with KK.
I'm a German. KK and fish.
KK.
But it's, the KK is now very too heavy for me. So I eat only half. But the TZ I can eat because it's light. Especially
I now understand why you chose TZ.
Very light.
That you can,
Yeah.
So how would you want for us to remember you?
Oh, me?
Yes. I'm looking at your Hall of Fame. I'm looking at all of these citations. And you remember me asking you which one, you really like. What is it that when somebody says to you, you feel as though this is me? Because you have a lot of praise. We say so many things about you, living legend, everything. But what is it that when we say, you know that, this is me? How would you want us to celebrate you, to recognize you?
As one who also contributed my quota to the development of education in Ghana. Yeah, because I think that I spend a lot of my time in that sector, and I kept it my best.
Right.
And if anybody wants to talk about me, then I believe that should be there.
Education.
Yeah, education. Yeah.
Education. Well, but let's listen to this soundbite, this quick soundbite from somebody who knows you very well in that department, in the department of education. Somebody who's worked with you closely in education. Let's listen to the soundbites, come back and close the show. Stay with us.
Let me say thank you for this opportunity. It's good you are doing that because I will say that Prof is a very good asset for the nation. I have known him for, I would say, the past 20 years. He taught me marketing, international marketing, when I was a student at University of Professional Studies, then IPS. He taught me for 2 years, and then he left for UK for further studies, went and came back, where by then I was also a teaching assistant at the Faculty of Marketing. So he came and led us. He's a good leader. He works marketing, he talks marketing, and then also he likes football a lot. I think he did House of Oak. He's a very keen member of the team. During our student days, he nearly convinced almost all the guys in class to go and do refereeship. Yes, and by then we didn't see the prospects of sports by then in 1992. So we didn't take it up. I still tell myself I should have taken up that opportunity. Through that also, he has risen through the ranks and became the professor or the head of the institution in the title of vice chancellor of the institution, where we all worked under him. And he actually led the institution through the lens of marketing, where everybody was working happily. He's approachable. You can go to him Even if you have any serious concern, what he will say will actually break the ice, and you read that even the anger or what you went there, you end up talking peacefully, and then he will solve your problem at any point in time that you approach him. So I like him so much. In politics also, we have been discussing politics, all in connection with the development or the advancement of the nation. He is almost always talking about the advancement of this nation, and then also always pointing at ills that is in the society. When people are not doing the right thing, he doesn't mince words. He point it out for discussion. He, as all marketers, he likes talking. So I also love to be around him for us to always talk. And you didn't know that it is I was his former student, but he gives equal respect to everybody who is close to him. And I think if the nation will still use him, I think we will be a better for it. So the nation should think of a way of still bringing him back to also still play his role for the advancement of this nation. Thank you.
Welcome back from the break. Welcome back from the break. I'm still here enjoying the company of the man, Professor Joshua Alabi. I've gotten to know him in ways that, I never have. I'm sure that you have also. But guess who we have on the set right now? This is where we do a drum roll, right? Drum roll. They say behind every successful man is a woman, and we have the woman right here.
Now it's besides.
Now it's I stand corrected. I mean, how could I have missed that? Besides. So the lovely woman besides. So it's great to meet you.
Happy to meet you.
It's great to wow. It's great to meet you. You don't look like what I expect. I mean, your profile is
It's great.
Oh. Tell me about Prof.
What do you want to know about
Everything.
Everything. He is a blessing to humanity, an amazing husband, a wonderful father, an honest man, a little too strict sometimes.
He told us.
Yes. But it's fun. It's a wonderful compliment. I mean, I don't think I would have been where I am without his support. And oftentimes when I'm, lazing around a little or I slack behind a little, he puts the fire, to get me going. Yes, so he's been an amazing person.
Wow.
But one thing that you cannot take away from him is his wisdom of leadership. It's unparalleled. I mean, wisdom comes to him so naturally. Sometimes when he has to deal with issues, the angle from which he comes from would, set you asking yourself, but why didn't I think about that? And it's so practical. He's a man of few words, but he's a man full of action.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a duty fulfiller.
Hey! Please say that again.
He's a duty fulfiller.
Duty fulfiller. Wow. He's a duty fulfiller. I love that. You know what he was telling us earlier? I was asking him about how he keeps, the home balance, and he says he gives you 95%. He gives you 95% and he keeps 5%.
I mean, but that 5% is the most essential. things.
That's exactly what I said too.
you know the theory about the Pareto theory that says 28 rule.
Right.
His own is 95. 95 rule. So the 5 does all the magic, and the 95 is the many trivials.
You keep the 95 of the trivials.
And the 5 is the vitals.
I'll keep my most important 5.
Yeah, the most important 5.
It's a delight. It's a delight to get the opportunity. And I don't take this opportunity lightly, to sit with you both and to enjoy your home. You have a beautiful home, by the way. My goodness, you have a beautiful home.
Thank you.
And it's such a, a nice, pleasant experience to experience leadership like this, in a home like this. I cannot let you go without taking just one advice from you, before we end the show. As the wife of a born leader, first of all, how do you see your role and what's your advice for the rest of us? How do we help our men? And I'm choosing my words very carefully because Prof is looking at me, So how do we help our men grow into themselves and live their fullest life, live to their full capacity? How do we achieve that as women?
I think that, first of all, we need to see ourselves as friends. That's very important. But for me, one critical thing is I don't just see him as a friend, I see him as a brother. And when at marriage, I learned that and the two shall become one, it really meant a lot to me that the two shall become one. So he's a brother. And as a brother, I cannot change the fact that he's my flesh, So that is my psyche and my mentality. I have to accommodate, whatever I think that could be the differences between us in terms of our upbringing, in terms of the way we understand things, in terms of the way we do things. And once you know that you need to live with that, then you have the opportunity to really learn about the person, know about the person, and live with the person. But I think the most important thing is I see myself as a compliment to him, and he sees himself as a compliment to me. So we complement each other.
Compliment and swag.
Yeah.
Hi.
And I think what helps us a lot is communication. We talk a lot, we laugh a lot, we share our problems and we share our joys as well. And so, when we know that it's going to bring results, that will bring joy, we are all up and arms, we support each other.
Right.
And when we are down, we share it as well. So I think it's about sharing, it's about believing in each other, it's about respect, most importantly.
Right.
Yeah, so,
Right. Listen, tell Prof anything that you might have wanted to tell him. There's always something that we want to say as women that we
want to tell the world.
Yes, it's important. It's very important. So tell Prof.
We wanted to tell the world.
Yes, there's something that you've always, wanted to say to Prof.
That I like him more than he could imagine, and I thank God very much that he gave him to me and our family.
Wow!
That's amazing. Thank you. That's from the missus to you, but from the rest of us as Ghanaians, thank you for living authentically. I would borrow, and I want to, just say this out loud. You were awarded Ghana's Marketing Man of the Year 2012 by CIMG, and you were also named Ghana's most influential public sector. By no means an organization like Imani. Imani actually named you Ghana's most influential public sector leader. I mean, so thank you. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for putting your heart into leadership, into public service. Thank you for putting your heart into service. And Ghana is better because people like you are in it. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
I also thank you for the opportunity and greetings to your cherished viewers and listeners.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for watching the show. I know that you had a laugh. I had a laugh. But I'm happy that today we got to sit with a man, Professor Joshua Alabi, and to express, our appreciation to him, but generally to everybody who is found himself in some, we are using him as a point of reference to say that when you serve well, we see you and we celebrate you. So let's keep celebrating our men of metal. It's the only way to build a society. And like he said, let's keep laughing, enjoying our lives. I'll see you next week. Bye.